For years, the Bambu Lab P2S was one of the best options for a mid-range printer. And now, with the introduction of the Bambu Lab P2S, there's a new king in town. And no, I don't mean it has a crown, it just has a lot of fans. I honestly believe that the Bambu Lab P2S might be one of the best printers you can buy right now, at least on paper. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced user, it has a lot of features that can get you printing quickly at a very attractive price point. In today's video, I'll be going over my real-world use of this printer, while touching on some of the marketing hype we probably don't care about. My name is Adam, and this is the Rad Dad Print Lab. Let's get into it. First and foremost, I paid for this printer myself. I have no affiliation with Bambu Lab, which means this opinion is powered entirely by my own wallet. These are just my honest thoughts from real-world use. The Bambu Lab P2S essentially replaces the P1S. And let's be honest, it replaced the X1 Carbon, which was a much more expensive printer. At $549 for the printer itself, or $799 for the AMS2 combo, it fits right in the middle of the market. It is still double the price of the A1, but it's still quite a bit cheaper than most of the H series printers. If you want to see a comparison between these printers, let me know down in the comments below. This printer is going to be great for people getting into 3D printing, or looking to upgrade their existing machines, or just, add another machine like we all typically do. Because you know what they say, there are no faster printers, just more printers. It has all the features most people want, but without the super high price tag. Now, my printer arrived free of any damage, and a big part of that is just how Bambu Lab packs these machines. Now, I did notice that there were some minor updates to how they ship these printers internally, but nothing really major. And setup didn't really take all that long, and it's fairly easy once the screen is installed. At first glance, the printer looks very similar to the X1 Carbon with its lighter finish, although it is still a bit darker overall. It also uses plastic outer panels like the P1S, unlike the metal panels found on the X1 Carbon. There are a lot of updates compared to the P1S, and the most noticeable change has got to be the new 5-inch touchscreen. The new 5-inch screen is a huge upgrade because realistically, everyone hated the P1S because of the screen. This is a big improvement, especially for anyone who is put off by the less user-friendly interface on the P1S. The P2S now includes AI failure detection, automatic flow calibration, and updated cooling capabilities. But realistically, it still prints really good. It also features a new cold air intake. Not the one that you would find on your car, but this one will actually help you keep that door closed when printing PLA and PETG. And there's also a flap that seals in heat for higher temperature engineering grade filaments. Say that 10 times fast. Because of this, the printer now ships with hardened nozzles and a hardened extruder gear, meaning you can print fiber-filled filaments right out of the box. Another major upgrade is the new quick swap nozzle system, which is carried over from the A1 and the H series printers. The camera has also been massively improved. Time lapses and remote viewing no longer feel like an afterthought. It's just a huge step up from the P1S. I don't want to spend too much time comparing this directly to the P1S here, because honestly, it could be its own video. So let me know down in the comments below if that's something that you want to see. There are also quite a few improvements under the hood, and overall, it's still an incredibly fast printer. And interestingly enough, according to Bambu Studio, it's technically slower than both the P1S and the X1 Carbon. But still, it's still noticeably faster than the A1. So all the times that you're seeing on the screen were printed using the same settings with ASA as material. Yes, I'm aware the A1 cannot do ASA material out of the box. This was just an example. All in all, I've been really happy with the print quality so far. With nearly 200 hours on this printer, I've tested PLA, PETG, ASA, EasyPA, and quite a bit more. I printed the Spider-Man 2099 helmet from Budwin, and it came out great. The base of the helmet was printed in Bambu Lab's basic red PLA. The eye accents were printed in Sunlu's blue PLA, and these little eye inserts here were done in PETG high flow from Bambu Lab. Now, the reason I did those in PETG is there isn't one. I was just too lazy to load up another roll of filament. Now, I did notice that the eye accents weren't as clean as I had hoped for. Whoops. All right, so now the eye accents didn't print out nearly as clean as I had hoped for, but I'm gonna chalk that up to the PLA just being a bit old after sitting out for a couple years. I also printed out several door hooks in a variety of filaments. The Bambu Lab red PLA printed exactly how I expected it to. The black PETG did run into a small issue with some adhesion, and I'm not quite exactly sure what happened here, but maybe you can let me know down in the comments below, because yeah, I'm gonna say it's an adhesion issue. The last hook was printed in Prusament ASA, and this one turned out looking really good. You know, just like the other printers in the Bambu Lab lineup, the P2S is a part of their closed ecosystem. The closed ecosystem is either a deal breaker or a dream, depending on how much you enjoy things just working. You know, personally, I really like the Bambu Lab ecosystem. It's the main setup for my print farm, and the ability to remotely send prints is a bit of a must-have for myself. Remote viewing from both the slicer and the phone app is also crucial, especially since I'm usually at work while these prints are running. While this printer shares the same build volume as most Bambu Lab printers outside of the H series, I did run into a weird issue with the build plate detection. My older build plates just flat out weren't being recognized. And I think it may have something to do with the size of the QR code on the new build plates that ship with the P2S. The printer would throw an error and pause the print until I confirmed a prompt on the screen saying, hey, this is actually the build plates that's loaded. And this got really annoying really quickly. After the third interruption, I disabled the feature because sometimes the smartest fix is just to turn it off. Hopefully this gets fixed with a firmware update. I picked up the combo, which includes the AMS2, and this was my first time using it. There are several noticeable improvements compared to the original AMS. It feels significantly faster overall, and the motor seems stronger, which makes filament loading and unloading way more quicker. Another welcomed improvement is that the PTFE tubes are now easily accessible, so if you ever get a broken piece of filament stuck inside the AMS, it's no longer a pain to fix it. One thing that truly bothered me is that Bambu Lab advertises the AMS2 of being able to dry filament. And it can dry filament while printing, which is great as long as you buy another power supply, because of course you do. It honestly feels like this should have been included in the box to begin with. So if you want to print and dry at the same time, you have to pick up that external power supply separately. It will dry without it as long as the printer is completely in a standby mode. And when I first got my printer, the official Bambu Lab power supply was out of stock. So I ended up picking one up on Amazon instead, and I'll have a link down for that in the description below if you need it. Now, one feature I do like is that the AMS2 rotates the spools while drying, which is gonna help ensure that that filament dries evenly. I also really like that the Bambu Lab includes a filament buffer with a built-in Y-splitter now. And the new side-mounted spool holder is great. It made loading up my Prusament ASA so much easier. Now you might be wondering, why didn't I just throw that in the AMS? Well, that's because the new Prusament rolls with the NFC tags are unfortunately too wide to fit in the AMS. The printer includes automatic bed leveling, automatic Z offset, build plate detection, AI flow calibration, and an adaptive new airflow system, and a built-in carbon filter. Okay, all those hype stuff out of the way. It's cool stuff. Most of that really does matter. But now a couple things that do matter a little bit more in my opinion is that the internal light is really good. You no longer need to print a riser and add aftermarket lighting or get something like the Pandalux from Big Tree Tech. One thing worth noting is that Bambu Lab does not include a USB thumb drive, so if you want to store time lapses, you're going to need to pick up one of those separately. Now, I feel like this printer is going to be great for anyone getting into the hobby, upgrading an older machine, or adding printers to their print farm. The feature set and reliability are excellent, and Bambu Lab's extensive list of replacement parts stocked in US warehouses makes long-term ownership much easier. You know, this is one of those printers that just quietly does its job, which as I get older, I really do appreciate more. And if you want to see why I felt like the P1S was the better machine than the X1 Carbon, you should check out this video right here because it ended up being a bit of a hot topic. This is Adam, and I'll see you next time. The last hook was printed in and the new sides